Welcome to Statistical Swinging, a production of the Untouchables podcast. We're looking in at the U.S. Open this week at Oakmont, Pennsylvania. One of the toughest challenges of golf year in, year out, the U.S. Open. It's going to be very difficult this week at Oakmont. Before we get into this tournament, let's recap what we had last week at the RBC Canadian Open. In that tournament, we were able to gain a little over 2 units, 2.1 units to be exact, in that tournament where we had Sam Burns top 20, top 10. We were able to get Cameron Young top 20. Eric Van Rooyen missed the cut, whatever. The ones that do hurt, like we could have had an amazing 5+ unit week. Mackenzie Hughes, all he needed to do on Sunday was shoot 1 under to get inside that top 20. He shot 2 over, so he kind of chokes for us. And then good old Shane Lowry. Shane was 5 under through 4 on Sunday, and then played 2 over the rest of the round to miss out on top 10 by 1 stroke. So it was tough right there between both Shane and Mackenzie Hughes, but still a good week. Like I said, up just a little over 2 units in the tournament. And now, looking on to this week, the U.S. Open being held at Oakmont Country Club in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. The yardage is 7,372 yards, and it's a par 70. Another one of these courses where you got to be able to hit the driver well, find fairways, because the rough here is going to be playing 5 inches thick, impossible to get it out of there. And then you look at the greens, they're going to be giant. They're going to be very undulated, rolling like glass, looking like it's going to be about a 15 on the stimp meter for the tournament. So we're going to have to see some good putters, some good scramblers too, because that rough is thick everywhere. And then, you got to be able to hit fairways or your tournament can be over really before it starts. So, looking into our bets for this week of the U.S. Open starting off, we actually have something with Scotty Scheffler. I know these last couple weeks we didn't take Scotty at the Memorial. Probably should have. We didn't touch Rory last week, and that was awesome. Rory was nowhere close. He missed the cut by far. And I'll let you guys on a little hint now. We don't have anything with Rory this week. Ever since his driver got taken away, he's been all out of sorts, all whack. We're staying clear of that. But we do have something with Scotty Scheffler this week, and that's him to win at plus 275. It's really the only thing with him worth taking unless you're willing to bite a lot of juice, top 10, top 5, so on and so forth. I mean, it's Scotty, number 1 player in the world, but I mean, this season, 9 top 10s and 12 starts, 7 consecutive top 10s, including he has 4 wins this season, including ones at Muirfield Village and Quail Hollow. So 2 of these tougher golf courses, probably the 2 that are going to resemble the most of what the course is going to kind of play like, what you're going to need to play like to succeed this week at Oakmont. Those 2 are good examples for it, and for Scotty to win both them there, number 1 player in the world without a doubt. We haven't taken on Scotty to win because I think we'd be stupid not to. Next player I have is another one of my win tickets, but it's also a top 10 in Jon Rahm. I have him top 10 at plus 110. And then him to win at plus 1,200. Jon Rahm is still one of the best golfers in the world. You've seen it a little less, I guess, since he's been on LIV, where he doesn't get to compete with the best of the best as much, but there's still multiple top 10 players in the world playing on LIV. And since Jon Rahm has been on LIV, he's never missed the top 10 in any event. The only one that he completed, I guess, the only one he didn't finish in the top 10 was back in Houston last year, where he had to withdraw because of an injury. But other than that, he's been the top 10 in every event. I know he did come out and said, yes, it's easier to be in the top 10 with the shorter fields and everything, three-day tournaments. It makes sense. I get that. Jon Rahm is still, elite this year in the majors. He was tied 14th at the Masters. Then he finished tied 8th at the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. And he was right in there trying to compete with Scotty. And really, the only thing that kind of took him away was his tee shot on 17 at that par 3. And that wasn't even a bad tee shot. Just those were firm greens. It takes hard to win in the water. He had to be aggressive if he wanted to try to complete that comeback with Scotty. So other than that, Jon Rahm's been in it this year, and he's going to be in it again this week, where on LIV, because he doesn't, none of these little guys have the statistics to figure in with the rest of the PGA players. But on LIV, he leads in greens and regulation. That's going to be huge and key here at Oakmont, where you've got to be able to hit greens, got to be able to find them, because I said earlier, but there's 175, I think, bunkers on this course, not that the 5 inch deep rough is going to be everywhere surrounding these greens. You got to be able to find your way to get on a green because if you're not, it, it might take a couple chips to get out that rough. That's how thick, that's how deep it is. So yeah, he leads live in greens and reg. He's seventh in live when it comes to scrambling. So when you are missing those greens, scrambling is going to be important. That's something that I think bodes well for Bryson. Where I'll also just say that now we don't have anything really with Bryson here. His odds are a little skewed, I think, a little too juiced. Where he's never defended an event in his year in his career. He's playing good golf. He's putting new irons in the bag. Who knows if that's going to work? So I'm just staying clear of Bryson this week. But with John Rahm, he's seventh in scrambling. Is good with his hands, with the wedges, find ways to get up and down from the rough, from the sand, even on these crazy glass undulated greens. And then he's eighth in live in driving distance as well. John Rahm hasn't always really will be a bomber, and that's what he showcased throughout live. We've seen it in the couple majors this year. He can hit that driver far and straight. He's be able to find fairways, get deep down there, be able to increase his chances at some more birdies. So yeah, we have John Rahm top 10, and for him to win as well. The next player I have is Aaron Rai, the Englishman. We have him top 30 at plus 120 and top 20 at plus 230. Aaron Rai, is not the prototypical golfer you think would maybe succeed at a course like Oakmont, where he's one of the shorter hitters on tour, but he's first on tour when it comes to hitting fairways. That is so important at a course like Oakmont. I mean, I'll keep saying it again, that rough is going to be so hard to get out of. Like, you got to have swing speed like Bryson really to really be able to get a ball out of that rough. So Aaron Rai being first in fairways is huge. He's going to be able to find that fairway, get him good looks going onto these greens. Not only that, he has six top 20s already this season. Aaron Rice carrying over from what was really a breakout season for him last year. Carried that on six top 20s this season. And in his 9 career major starts, Aaron Rice has had three top 20s in there. So he's played some good golf in majors so far in his career. And then one other thing with him, he's 19th on tour when it comes to greens and reg. So if you're first in hitting fairways and then top 20 again in greens and reg, that bodes well for giving you good chances to make some good birdies while maybe you're not getting on greens and two on these par fives. You're hitting greens, hitting a wedge up, hitting another wedge, making a putt for birdie, two putt for par fours. You're driving in the fairway, an iron onto the green, and that's exactly what we want to see at this course because you don't want to miss the green. So yeah, Aaron Rai top 30 and top 20 this week.
We interrupt this episode of the Untouchables podcast to tell you about Scratch Golf and Lounge in Westminster. Are you looking for a place to relax and hang with your friends while playing golf? Scratch Golf and Lounge is the premier indoor golf simulator, offering a wide variety of courses on 5 separate bays. Not only that, they offer a wide variety of local cocktails, beers, and wine, as well as some phenomenal small bites and snacks. So rain or shine, no matter the weather, there's a spot for you to fill in that golf itch at Scratch Golf and Lounge, located at 8700 West 101st Ave, Westminster. That's Scratch Golf and Lounge at 8700 West 101st Ave, Westminster. And now let's get back to the episode.
Next is our boy Sepp Straka. We went to him a couple weeks ago. We're going to him again. We have him top 20 at plus 125. This season, Sepp Straka has 10 top 20s in 15 events. That includes being third at Muirfield 2 weeks ago when we had a win ticket on him and just missed out on that. But at that tournament as well, he was first on shots gained off the tee and first in driving accuracy. So if he can build on that at Muirfield and take that into here at Oakmont, that could be huge for Sepp, who does hit the ball pretty far, unlike Aaron Rice. So if he's able to find fairways, that can really boost up that scoring for him. And then he also won at the Truist Championship about a little over like a month and a half or so ago. And that was at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. So that's only 30 minutes from Oakmont. And then, so he's played well in this area already this season. And then one of the big things with how big these greens are at Oakmont, there you could have 80, 90, 100-foot putts, so on and so forth, like long putts on these greens. He's 22nd on tour this year when it comes to three putt avoidance over 25 feet. So if he has these long putts, Sepp Straka has been one of the best on tour this year, being able to get it down close to the hole and making sure he gets that two putt. Next player we do have is a repeat from last week. We're going back to the Cameron Young. Well, cash big for us there last week. We had him top 20. Not only that, he finished top five in that tournament. If he would have birdied hole 18, he would have been in that playoff with Adam Fox and Sam Burns. So he played some great golf last week. We have him top 40 at plus 125 and top 30 at plus 225. In his career, he has five top tens in 16 major appearances. So he's played good golf throughout his time at the majors. And then this season, he's also has six top 30s throughout the tournaments, including his best finish last week at the RBC Canadian. And then in his last tournaments for Cameron Young, he's third in shots gained off the tee, being one of the best when it comes to, off the tee over these last couple tournaments. And that's shown throughout his scoring and where his finishes have been over these last couple tournaments. And then at the Philadelphia Cricket Club, kind of like I was talking from Sep, it's close by. You're going to get some of the same type of conditions, not as extreme at the Cricket Club as Oakmont, obviously, but still a little similar. And at that tournament, he was third in strokes gained putting. So if we can get Cameron Young out here driving the ball well and rolling that flat stick, we got him. And all we need, top 40 and top 30 there with Cameron Young. Then the last player we do have here this week is Denny McCarthy, top 20 at plus 260. Yeah, another repeat from a couple weeks ago at Muirfield. But Denny McCarthy this season has played good golf at tough U.S. Open caliber courses where he has a top 10 finishes at Torrey Pines for the Genesis Open and at Quail Hollow for the PGA Championship. So he's played good at these tougher courses, showing that he can compete at that level. Not only that, he's seventh on tour this season in strokes gained putting. That is exactly what you want to see right here with these giant greens, with all the undulations and with them running at like a 15 on the stim meter. We need you being a good putter, and Denny McCarthy has shown that this season. Not only that, he's 17th on tour in bogey avoidance. That means if Denny gets himself in a spot that might not be ideal, he's able to still find ways to scratch out pars in those holes, and that's what you're going to have to do at Oakmont. You're going to have to fight for a lot of pars, and for him being top 20 in that on the tour, I like that with Denny. So, yeah, we have him top 20 at plus 260. So, yeah, my lock of the week, is a little interesting. We went Cameron Young last week. We did cash him top 20 as like the lock of the week. I think my lock this week will be Sepp Straka, top 20 at plus 125. I really like the way he's playing this year. And I think getting him plus money inside the top 20 is great for someone like Steph. He could be competing for the title this weekend. So, yeah, before we go, I'm going to read out all the bets here, start to bottom, for the U.S. Open at Oakmont Country Club this week. So, first off, we have Scotty Scheffler to win at plus 275. Then we have John Rahm top 10 at plus 110 and to win at plus 1200. Aaron Rai top 30 at plus 120 and top 20 at plus 230. Sepp Straka top 20 at plus 125. Cameron Young top 40 at plus 125 and top 30 at plus 225. And then Denny McCarthy top 20 at plus 260. Yeah, that's what we got for this week of the U.S. Open. Hopefully we're in store for an electric golf tournament. It's going to be a grueling golf tournament. We might see that final score even over par this year. Like, that's where we're in for some electric but very tough golf. If you guys did enjoy this week's episode of Statistical Swinging, a production of the Untouchables podcast, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment down below. Who do you think is going to win this tournament? Who are you looking at in your betting? Is the final score going to be over par? Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of Statistical Swinging or the Untouchables podcast, and share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.